Well, arguments for more power for states seems to be getting traction. Agitators for this age-long struggle say their position is being vindicated at the various consultations on restructuring being organized by the governing All Progressives Congress, the APC. Public Affairs Analyst Dolapo Daramola joins me now in the studio to discuss this. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, this call is getting louder and louder. Some have called it a devolution of powers from the federal government to the states. But the important thing is, will devolution of powers calm nerves, or will it be an antidote to dismemberment of Nigeria?
Well, I think in the first place, in whose interest are we seeking devolution of powers as far as
the interest of the Nigerians?
No, it's not, it doesn't bring anything to Nigerians in the real sense. It only satisfies the ego of those who are in power, those who will enjoy it. Because what they are saying about the devolution of power is that, okay, the central is too strong, it's too powerful, it's too loaded, so shed some weight and shed it on us. We are ready. Now,
to the states.
To the states. So they are the ones who, the more you give to them, the more work in quotes they will tell you they are doing, and so more money comes to them for them to plunder the way what we are seeing. So that's why I said, to what gain do we, this devolution of power, to what gain is it? Does it, translate into the rapid development and growth that we are all seeking? No. The reason why we are in this state in 16 years is because nobody has saved for the rainy day. Because every kobo that has come, we have thrown into the gutters. So we are here paying the price for years of wastefulness. So what we should be doing or talking about, all hands should be on deck to say, how do we move this country from the infrastructural deficit that we have found ourselves, which is running into trillions of dollars. The things we ought to have provided that we have failed to provide. Okay, I'll give an example. If you look at the exclusive list, look at the concurrent list, what exactly in the exclusive list are the governors asking transfer to us? Because the major things which should bring development, agriculture, is on the concurrent list. Housing is on the concurrent list. So I ask you, how many houses will you say states are provided for their citizens? That is not a sole business of the federal government. The states can partake, the local governments can partake. How many houses have they been able to provide? Agriculture, we have been told over and over again by FAO, by even the World Economic Forum on Agriculture, even last year we were reminded that what will move every nation forward is to say divest, move from where you are now and come into agriculture. How many states have actually invested sufficiently in the last 4 to 5 years in that field, agriculture? Is this something in the hands of federal government also exclusively? No. So, when you keep hearing these things being bandied everywhere, you wonder, what exactly are we talking about? How does it move us from point A to point B if more powers, come to the governors? In Lagos, for an example, a state that generates nearly, over 30 billion, internet-generated revenue. I keep asking every day, how does that translate, to making life better? Lagos State still falls short when you look at, those who rate towns and cities and all that.
In terms
of development, Lagos State is still very backward.
As compared with its revenue.
As compared with its revenue. So you asking the federal government to take some things away from the exclusive and bring to residual things that will reside with the state. How does that make any difference?
But, since the ruling party, which is the All Progressives Party, seems to be canvassing this devolution of powers, it does seem that some change is imminent, whether we like it or not.
Again, there's a political undertone. The National Assembly said, under Saraki, said they are not going to consider devolution of powers. Now, some people who are loyal to another, some other group within the party feel if they go this way, they can circumvent and put pressure on the National Assembly to do what they have said they're not doing. See, the truth of the matter in Nigeria is that there is no law, there is nothing that ever comes out that is coming out, born out of an objective or genuine interest. It is always on the table or on the premise of either somebody's ego, on the whims of caprice, or somebody's demands or something. It is never in the interest of the average man on the street.
Wow.
That is where the problem lies. And that is why the president is not giving a listening ear. Okay, I'll give you an example. People have been saying, you know, the Sovereign National Conference that came up, you know, let the president consider the report. How did the people that attended, you know, that conference, how did they come about? Is it not the same President Jonathan, you know, that chose those who came to the place? So, and ordinarily, if you are coming for such a conference, it should have been people who are elected from localities, from, you know, their own constituencies that will go there and speak their voice. In
essence, are you saying that when the National Assembly rejected the devolution of powers bill in July, they were right in doing so? Well,
again, you know, you will want to ask, did they consider, you know, everything, you know, objectively before dismissing it, or because they just felt that, whether you like it or not, is something they're going to hold on to as an ace, you know, against some other people within the APC. You know, that's why I said, if you look at everything you hear, if you read this man's interview in one of the national dailies, you know, over the weekend, that's Robert Clark. Everything the man said is that even these agitators, who are they? You know, at some point, this same, you know, Nnamdi Kanu said, you know, we should give Jonathan all the support. We must be one Nigeria. When a Hausa man comes in, he says, no, we must divide. So he whose interest are the agitations. He whose interest are these people calling for restructuring. He whose interest.
Let's look at it now. Which should be more propagated? Fiscal federalism or devolution of powers?
Fiscal responsibility. The two major issues confronting Nigeria in the last many years, in the last decades, we have two giants confronting us as a nation. Number one is lack of good governance.
Great.
Nobody cares about anybody. Nobody wants to fix your road. Nobody wants to provide water. Okay, I'll give you an example. In almost all the urban areas across the Federation, they will pay money from the beginning to the end. Everybody collects the kobo for you to buy a piece of land, a plot of land. When you buy, they will not provide, you know, anything in that area. You people under what we call CDA, Community Development Area Association, you now begin to contribute money to do what the government, whether local or state, ought to do. You now begin to contribute money. Even to grade your bad road, you have to pay money to the local government to come and do that. For PSCN to come and mount, you know, transformer poles, transformers, electric poles, everything, you have to pay. So, meanwhile, you are paid for all of this. We see the way it operates in advanced nations. So when you begin to hear people telling you a multi-faceted, you know, a multi-ethnic country, are we the only ones? Australia is multi-ethnic. They have over 500 ethnic nationalities within Australia. US is the same thing. US has over 300 ethnic nationalities within the US. England is the same thing.
Shall I say now that you don't support this clamor for restructuring? I don't support it.
What restructuring is restructuring our minds. An average Nigerian must go into an office, whether as a civil servant, as a public servant, to say this money belongs, is a commonwealth. My job is to protect our commonwealth. My job is to ensure that Nigerians go to good schools. You know, not giving me money to provide health care, to supply medications, and I put half of the money in my pocket. Restructuring cannot work.
All right, you seem to be
restructure our minds.
You seem to be in the same school of thought with former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Dolapo Daramola, public affairs analyst, thank you very much.
Dolapo
Daramola, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.